So this one I wanted to do, I call this over the shoulder. You're going to be looking at my computer. And I want to give you a pretty good look at how to get connected in ConnectMath and maybe even a little bit of how to work around in there. So this is where you'll go, where you'll type in your login name and password after the first time you've logged in. But when we're going in for the first time, you type ConnectMath, all is one word.com, and you find yourself here. It should match with the sheet. I'm doing this with a Math 94 sheet. 146 will have a sheet with their own numbers, so you don't have to read it off this sheet that I have here. But it says go here and under new user, click on sign up now. If you've used ConnectMath before, you can log in with your username and password and then do something called add another course. All right, so now what I want to do for this one, I locked caps lock for a little while, and I want to get my course code. This needs to make sure I go into the right course. So you don't want to sign up for the wrong course, and you certainly don't want to burn an access code using the wrong course. It's a hassle, but we can work through it even if that happens. But here's the story. You want to type in your course code, which is a series of 10 letters, 5 at a time. So this is GFAVX followed by TQRTP. And then you would click continue. And this is true of anyone that's going to pay with a code, pay with a credit card or a debit card. This will happen. This one says, okay, here's your class code, and you look at the class and it says Monday, Wednesday, fall 2020, intro to algebra 94, and it has my last name on it. If you're doing 146, of course, it will say fall 2020 with the name of your course, 146, and my name on it. And then we're ready to go, and it tells you the class dates, and it's got the class having started on August 15th. So then you click confirm, and it will proceed knowing what course you want to go to. Okay, if you've never used ConnectMath before, then you would click on this button. That's what I'm about to do. But yes, I have a ConnectMath login name and password. Then you would go here. If you did, but you forgot your information, you would click on this, put in your email, and they'll begin the process of getting you to your stuff. And that means you don't have to put your name, address, and serial number and all that stuff in again because they have that. They just need to get you connected to the course that you're going to join. So I'm going to say, no, I've never used ConnectMath before. All right, so now I'm going to go down here and do continue. So whichever of those you choose, you go to. All right, now I want to give them my first name. Oh, I don't want it all caps anymore. Middle initial, L, last name. Oh, I'd like to spell it right, so anyway. Email address. So I want this to go to my school address. So I'll go with jknossis@Norwalk. That's what I'm allowed. And you put in the address you're going to use. Use the email that you definitely would use. You should be using your Norwalk email. I'm supposed to tell you that. I'm supposed to enforce it. I think I've just told you that. I will work with you if you have to use a different one. But the college really wants me to act as part of getting students to use their NCC email. People have lost financial aid and stuff like that because they don't use their NCC email, and that's pretty sad. So I do want to encourage you to use your NCC email, but if you give me an email to use, I will use that one. It'll be the email that you put in here that will be the spot to which I send all your emails. When I click on the class and want to send them a quick email, this is where it's going to go. So try and make sure that's the email that you want. Some people have two emails and they forget they put it in this one and they keep checking the other one. They don't get any of the emails from me. They don't ever read them. This is saying that I'm going to be set up as jknossis22. If you had a student ID sent from your school, you can enter below. That's up to you. I don't think I have one of those. So let me set up a password here and verify the password. And I'm just going to write for myself. It looks like the student ID. I'm going to write some stuff here. I'm obviously jknossis, just jknossis, right? Yeah, @norwalk.edu is my email. You're not supposed to write down your password. If you need to, then do it, because if you lose it, that's going to be a bit of a hassle too. And somehow this has me as jknossis22. All right. I agree. You can read the terms of use. You know how that goes. You click on this. There's a lot to read. You can agree to them. It's usually a good idea to read them. A lot of people don't, but it's also often helpful to scroll to the bottom of the page because sometimes they're watching you. And back here if you want to return to the policy. Oh, I thought it said return to the policy page. It was just going to read to me about that. So let's go up here and ConnectMath registration. I'm back in there. And those terms of use, up to you if you want to read them and so forth, but you need to agree to the terms of use. You know how it is to use the internet, so I continue. Okay, so somehow they came up with this login name for me, which is fine. I don't know if that's anything that I did. JKEUN. Okay. JQAUS. So you need to know your login name, especially if it's not one you gave yourself. Check that login name, JKUENAUSS. Okay, so that's what you can use along with the password. I have LastPass here and saying, do you want me to remember your password? I'm going to say no, but do what you got to do to get it so that you work through. If you're using the same computer and it's secure, you can go ahead and use, have that password saved on your computer. Try and write or somehow remember it on your phone what your password is, because a lot of people use it at home and they're always doing that, and then they find themselves somewhere else and they don't know their password. So you're not supposed to have it on your phone, but if you put it on your phone in a way that you'll recognize but no one else will, they won't really have much value from that. So this is saying, do you have an access code? If you bought the book and you have a new access code, you type that in right there with all the caps and all that, and it should work just fine. And you should be right in, having already paid for it. If you don't have an access code, you can go with this. No, I need to purchase an access code. And that's if you want to go online with a credit card or possibly a debit card, and you will fill this out with all the standard stuff. $92, that's a question I get asked a lot. That $92 will work if you're in Math 94E for both 94, whichever form, and then 136, the next course. So the next semester when you take math, if it's at Norwalk, you won't have to buy a book or a code or anything. This book and code does both courses. A little different if you're doing Math for Liberal Arts, it's for this semester only, but most people don't, there's not another course like that you have, so you register here by putting in all your information and then click I accept and go on from there. But we're back here and I'm going to go to continue so I can get access again to what about I got to get going in this class. I gotta wait till payday. That's why they call this the financial aid access code, or I gotta wait for financial aid to come through so I can access the course. You get at least 14, I think it's more like 17 days free from the time you start this until you have to pay for it. They shut you back out. They don't throw away all the work you did, but they lock it. And then you have to get paid access to get back in, and you will need paid access to complete this semester. And if you're in 94, you'll need it also, you'll need to get it anyway so you can have it for both semesters. So yes, I have an access code. This is what you go with if you've got your free access code. This is something I emailed to you. And if you're in my 094E class, then yours will look very similar to this. 1492E. Then 11D1A. Then EF 0E0. I don't like zeros in there, but okay. EF0E0, because those could be O's. They look a little tall. 9FF59. Oh, I'm getting nothing, huh? Thanks for telling me. Oh, I guess you guys weren't here to do it. 1492E. 1492E, 1490. Oh, no. I was thinking a little, Columbus. It's 1429E. So there you go, 1429E. That's good. 11D1A, 11D1A. EF, I believe that's 0. E, I believe that's 0. Then it's 9FF59. And that's the same code that works for anyone who is in our section. And it should work when you click on continue. Yes. Or you have 2 weeks of access. So let's see. How's that look? Let me grab a calendar, old school here. September 6th. Yeah, they gave me a little bit more than They call it 2 weeks, but they're going to let it go till September 6th, which is a Monday. I'm doing this on a Thursday, so as I said, you might get 17 days, but that's the drop dead date. That if I don't pay by September 6th, I'm going to be locked out of this. So to continue using ConnectMath, you must purchase an access code to extend this access. Access codes are either bought with the book, or you can go straight in with a credit card and pay your $92 that way. Okay. Now what happens when you get into ConnectMath? So remember, this is a course entry for me to get into algebra course, introductory algebra embedded. So it says enter your class here, options to manage your class are here, and flip to see more details about your class here. So this is a live thing. It tells me the login and all that. Okay, how long I've been in, and my code. If you want to extend your access, one of the things, and you can manage your class. So I'm going to click on manage my class. I've clicked on to me it's a dark green blackboard kind of thing, and not sure why the online version of exam 3 is there. Let's see what happens if I try it. Oh, it won't open anyway. It's going to start Wednesday. So I have something in the wrong place. When you actually look, it probably won't be there. I think what I'm going to want to do is have it so that you can get in and see some work that you can do there. So I'm going to stop the tape now and and I'm going to fix it up and come back and have it look more the way that would be better. And miraculously now I stopped the camera and I've opened this up, and we can see that it's got access. There are a few things you need to do. There's a tutorial when you first open it that'll show you how to enter information in there. I've been doing this for a while, so I may actually forget how to do some of the stuff that, I know how to do it, but I may forget to show it to you. But let's say you wanted to start this homework assignment of addition of real numbers here. And I would say start that. And this is how an assignment will look online. This is the basics, so it'll tell you, and it's worth going through this piece by piece if you've never been in ConnectMath before, how to enter assignments and stuff like that. But with this, on the homework, it does offer you some options. On the right hand side, these buttons, solve it, guided solution, show an example, link to textbook, ask my instructor, print this page. These will do things as you're going through. This one at the top, solve it. It will take a problem and show it from start to finish how to do it. A problem very similar to the one you're looking at. Guided solution will ask you little pieces of the question to take you through the steps of the process. Piece by piece, you're putting the pieces together. I consider that more like a video game, whereas this other one I consider to be more like watching a video. This one has a little more interaction on your part. Show example. Well, let's just see what show example does. It tries to demonstrate an explanation of why things go the way they do. It may not match up word for word with what I taught you in class, but the answer that's correct has to be the same. Link to textbook, I find it very helpful, especially for someone who didn't buy the textbook. What it does, it has the whole textbook there available on the computer, and better than a paper book in some ways is the fact that it knows where the problem you're working on is in the textbook. So it tries to jump you to that spot in the book. Of course, you can go here where you can jump through the contents of the book or to a particular page. If there was a reason you wanted to go to page 172 and you went ahead and did that, it will do that. It'll take you to there. So the nice thing about this book is that it does know where you are when you're doing work. So if I go to a problem and I do link to textbook, it'll take me to something related to that. If you do ask my instructor, it'll open up a question. And this is great because what it's doing is it's taking a snapshot of the problem you're working on and sending that to me by saying where it is and what problem you're working on, when you're working on it, and all that. And then you can type away the question that you have. I will cancel it, but that is linked and pointed right to my account. And then this to print this page. So there's a lot of good stuff going on. I wouldn't recommend jumping into the homework and trying to figure the stuff out because you don't build a strong foundation as compared with watching the video, saying, all right, now I think I'm ready to go at the homework. The way to do it is watch the video, possibly take some notes, speed it up, slow it down, rewind it, okay? Get your notes the way you would in class, and then when you're done watching the video, that's like walking out of the class on the day that we were supposed to meet. You can do it ahead of time. It's bad news to do it behind, right? To fall behind, because then it can snowball to a bigger problem. But you can work on homeworks when you're behind. And if I were to say, let's get an answer to this, let's see what they're saying. Add these numbers using the number line. Well, if I get the most common wrong answer, which is 8, I mean another common answer, and I'll go ahead and check my answer, it's going to tell me, no, that's wrong, try it again. I'm like, oh, well, wait. Yeah, oh, maybe it's 0. I'm getting them wrong on purpose because these might be things you think of, because I do know some of the wrong answers and how people get them. But what in fact is going to happen after you've watched our video, you'll certainly know that these are two numbers, a negative number plus another negative number are working together to make a larger number. They're actually both 4s, so 4 plus 4 gets me 8. So I'm good with the 8. A lot of people have that misconception of two negatives make a, I'm not going to finish that sentence because it's so confusing and leads to so much trouble. But in fact, on the number line, what we do is we go in the negative direction for a total of 4, and then we go again in the negative direction 4 more, and we wind up at an 8, but then we can recognize that we actually have a negative 8, and if we check, then we'll get it right. Now if I want to try another, if I want to keep practicing, look at this button down here, try another, save for later. Submit assignment. You should submit the assignment whenever you stop doing the homework. It will submit it and update your gradebook, but you can come back and join it later. So let's say I were to submit this assignment right now. Here's what it'll say. You've only done one of the 19 questions. You're submitting it without all the questions. If you click submit, then it'll grade this. And I'm going to go ahead and do that, and the world will not come to an end, and I will not have to start all over again, because now I'm out here, it says you got about 5%, because I did one problem out of about 20, and I got it right. So now I want to try again, and what happens, it says start the assignment now, and what happens when we start the assignment now is I already have credit for the one that I did. That's a homework feature. The homework has the ability to let you keep the scores that you already did. So now I'm on 2, and I might see that 9 plus negative 2, they work against each other. I'm not adding digits for 11, I'm subtracting them to get a 7. I also recognize that the 9 is stronger and positive, so my result will be stronger. And if you've been through the video of our class, that will make some sense as to why that is. What I'm going to do instead is I want to start getting it wrong a little bit. If I get it wrong once, no, it's not 11. Okay, how about if I try negative 11? No, okay, so maybe I should subtract them. So I'm going to say I get a 7, but there's only one negative, so maybe for that reason. Now down here, I'm trying the third time. It says try one last time, and you'll see if I recheck the answer, it'll forcibly give me the correct answer after 3 attempts that none of them worked. So then the suggestion might be to try another, but then maybe I should go over here and ask them to solve it, and this will show their approach to getting it on the number line. Or perhaps a guided solution will be helpful. Start at negative 2 and count 9 units to the right, left. This is kind of tricky for some if you're dyslexic, but we're trying to go up the number line, and that's to the right. So then you have to answer these pieces, because now it'll look piece by piece to see how you're doing. So now that's why we've gone through the 0 on our way up to 7, and therefore we're landing on 7, and we're not thinking of negative 7 anymore, and now we can check the answer. Now we got their help on this, so this doesn't mark it correct. But if we try another and we apply those concepts, we can now get it right. But I'm really happy with the concept that it allows you to go to a problem. We asked for this for a while. We've been asking, look on this. All right, this one wants me to get an answer. Let's see, 2. I'm going to get an answer. Subtract for 6, strong on the positive. And so I'm going to go ahead and put in 6. All right. And if you're in a different course, you'll still be able to do that. Let's see. Strange, I thought I'd be able to get back and do number 1 again. Let's see if I get back and do number 2. So number 2, which I have not submitted yet, is letting me go try another. I'm going to submit the assignment, and now it's going to push my score up, right? And it's a homework, so I can keep going in and doing that. But I'm going to go done, and I'm learning as you're watching right here. I'm going to do try again, and I'm going to jump in here to start this assignment now. And I was under the impression, perhaps incorrectly, that even though 1 and 2 are done, But I can go back and try them again. No, but if I do 3 correctly before I submit it, I should be able to, okay, subtract for 1 strong on the negative, I'll get -1. Check my answer, got it right. Save for later, which does not. Submit it. I'm just wanting you to know, and I'm learning at the same time, that if I come back in, I now have 3 right, but I didn't submit it. If I go to continue this assignment, and I go back in here, when you submit it, everything that you got marked right apparently doesn't let you back in again. But if I wanted to go over to 4, and then come back to 3, 3 will let me try another. Having submitted it successfully, it won't let me go back and try a problem that I got correct and start to drag down my homework score. I think that's a feature they tried to make sure that no one causes their homework grades to drop. So when you want to do stuff like that, you may need to go into something that I've designed for you called a review to do that. There's also parts when you can look at a report. I'll submit this assignment now. I'll get that up to 3 right. In the past, they did modify the program over the summer, but in the past, they allowed you to view a report for this by going to your gradebook, and when you look it up, you can go to details and view a report of this. And so when I go to view the report, I can look at, okay, let's see my 3rd attempt, and it's going to bring up the 3rd attempt. But now because I'm looking at a report, so that's locked on like a scored project, I can go back to number 1. Remember, I got it right and I got credit for it, and it wouldn't let me keep doing it on my live homework. I can go back to number 1 and do try again. Try again, that's still there. So that seems weird to me, but let's see. Oh, okay, so unintended consequence. You used to be able to go in the report and work on problems you've already gotten right without doing it, but what this does is it launches a new homework and says, nope, you can't touch 1 again. I'll be in touch with them, but how do we get to that? Well, once you've submitted something, apparently you can't go back and work on it some more. Nothing's perfect. I do have parts of the course I'll show you later how we can practice stuff over and over again. That's no problem. So what you saw me doing, there's a few things going on in here. I'm going to say save for later rather than submit, and I'm just going to save it. Submitting it lets me know how you're doing. Saving it hides from me how you're doing until you either submit it or it reaches its deadline. So I'm going to say I'm done with this. And there are a few things that are really useful here. Home is where you can see the work that's available. When you finish something, it will drop out of the assignments that you can work on and only show you assignments you can still work on, but you can get to them in your gradebook, things you've already done. Your gradebook is here, and with the gradebook you have the opportunity to see everything you've worked on, your quizzes only, there won't be any, your tests, right now there won't be any, but they'll show up with a test average. Your homework, there is some action there because I did some stuff, right? Final exam, that we're actually not using this semester because it's considered one of your exams, even though it has some other things. And then assignments worth no weight. I don't know if I have anything in there right now, but that's where I'll put stuff that I want not to impact your grade and not to really classify as anything in particular. This will start to fill every Sunday night. You should see heading into Monday that there's new stuff coming in available for that week. I like to treat the course as though you've got the whole week to work on it, but you should be watching the videos in the class when the class meets, or watch them ahead of time, especially when you know you're meeting with me. You might want to get a few videos in, even if you're meeting with me, let's say 11 o'clock on Monday morning. Maybe get up for your Monday morning and watch the few videos before we get together, so even then you have something we can talk about for that week's work, and we can also have you connect to me after that. Okay, so that's how you get into here. What would you do if you're done? Let me show you how you log out, and then you're out of there. After you've signed in for free, you can go in, and I gotta retype this as JKU. Let's see if this guy knows which ENAUSS. All right. Wow, that's too many. Should not, well, not a horrible mistake, but let's just go. Maybe I will. And jump into my class. Okay. back in. You want to pay for it. I believe that stuff might show up down. Should be a way to pay for this. Once I've been using it for free, it should offer me the opportunity to pay for it. Let's see. But I don't see it. Usually I thought there'd be like a countdown doomsday-ish clock that says you gotta pay for this. Right now I'm not seeing it. Let me take a look here at manage classes. Oh, okay. So here, where I was at the beginning, before I went in here, they will bring me to this screen that says manage my classes. It may be the only class you have in Connect. It may be one of several. But there's an extend access button right there if you can still extend access, and if you need to purchase an access code, you can do that. If you brought in an access code, you can do that, even though you're using your stuff throughout the semester. So that should get us off to a start, at least get you to try and poke around in there a little bit with the access that you have. Before we meet for the first time, I'll be meeting some of you on Wednesday of the first week of classes, and others, and Thursday, and others on Monday and Tuesday for the first time, and we'll just roll from there. But each time our class is scheduled, it's time for you to be finishing watching videos that go along with that. You'll get some more stuff from me in the future. That should help, I hope. Good luck.